Welcome to Sriram. So today's topic is heat waves. So heat waves is affecting the entire world, causing the extreme temperatures, causing drought, causing the forest fires, and many other adverse consequences on agriculture sector, institutional arrangement, infrastructure, energy sector, and so on. So before starting this topic, let me introduce myself. Myself, Priya Singh. Singer, I'm teaching a geography optionals at Unacademy platform. So I'm a senior faculty from Sriram. So teaching experience more than 11 years. So I will guide you and train you to score high marks in geography option for civil service examination. Let's begin our today's topic. So even the Sriram has been acknowledged for producing toppers, and this year's toppers are Garima Loya, Kanika Goyal, Abhinav Sivaj, top rankers of Sriram. So please join the legacy. So let's begin the topic called heat waves. So what are heat waves and how these heat waves have been produced and what are the new trends in the heat waves and how these heat waves are adversely affecting in the world or the different parts of the world, so regional impact or the global impact or impacts on India in particular. So how we are mitigating and adapting to this strong heat wave situations are. So let's begin our sessions in detail. Heat wave is a situation of high temperatures or a situation where the temperature goes beyond the tolerance limit. So in the tolerance limit is called the threshold limit. So every geography has a one average temperature that is called the mean temperature, which is of daily or monthly or annual mean temperature. And every geography has the maximum temperature also. That temperature called as what? Threshold temperature. Okay. Now, when some days, especially in the summer season, when the temperature crosses above the threshold limit, then that area is been affected by the heat waves. So that the time in which the heat waves prevail, that is called the duration, and the number of times that heat waves is occurring, that is called the frequency, and the amount of the temperature change from the threshold level give you the peak intensity of the heat wave. So three major characteristics of heat waves have been observed: frequency, intensity, and duration. So now these heat waves become dangerous and threatening when we combine with the humidity, because high temperature, high humidity, it also increase the high heat index. So high heat index means the tolerance limit of a human beings actually. Whenever what happens when high temperatures are existing, so the heat is getting built up in our body. But that this heat of the human body or any animal body get regulated by evaporation, by sweating. But due to the high humidity, what happened? This humidity, the evaporations is not much taking place, so sweat remain on the body, and the cooling is not taking place. So as a result, the internal temperature within the body get increased, and that concept called heat index. For example, if the temperature is around 34 degree Celsius, but the humidity levels are high around 80%, the temperature felt by the body will be around 53 degrees Celsius. Okay, similar is the situation. The temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. Humidity is more than 80%. So what is the situation? In that case, the temperature is around 54 degrees Celsius. So that means if you go higher and higher temperature and higher and higher humidity, heat index get more and more. So that become unbearable. So that is the reason the coastal areas with high temperature, high humidity, heat index is more than in the tropical area. So that means 35-degree temperature is more dangerous than 45-degree temperatures if the humidities are high in these situations. Now, three major characteristics of heat waves have been observed: frequency, intensity, and duration. What has been observed due to the climate change and global warming? So the frequency is increasing, intensity is increasing, as well as the duration of heat waves is also increasing. From few days to few weeks, heat waves are persisting in during the summer season in India. So the timing for the heat waves in India is from the March onwards till the June. Okay, and sometime in the July month, the heat waves get extended. So, how many times heat waves are affecting in a summer season in India? Around 5 to 6 times. But this frequency, due to global warming, is increasing and become 10 to 12 events also been observed. Peak increase in the temperature above the threshold is around 4.5 degrees Celsius for a normal heat waves. But there is a situation of severe heat waves where the peak temperatures above the threshold increasing above 6.5 degree Celsius. That has also been happening. So the extreme heat wave situations are more and more is happening, and every coming year will be more and more warm. And question arises how to get into that why and how the heat waves get produced in India and the world, the mechanism part. We try to introduce the Sriram IS course to you. So Sriram IS has a 1 year civil service examination preparation course launching GS batch from the June 8th. Please join us. And this course of general studies will be covering 100% UPSC syllabus in an integrated manner. So we try to solve both prelims, mains, and interview so aspects of preparation. So this entire classes will be live and taken by the top educators, okay, including Shiramso. Now, apart from the general studies batches, we also started optionals like sociology, public ad, SIR, economics, history, and my optional is going to start from 16th of June 2023. Okay, so now let's discuss the how the government of India is defining how the internationally heat waves have been defined. So the criteria are made for it. Some standard is made. So for international standard is created by World Meteorological Organization. If continuously for 5 days the temperatures are rising above the threshold level, then that area might be called as heat waves affected. For that, the shift or departure in temperature should be more than 5 degree Celsius. That's another requirement. Both the conditions are satisfied. We call that area in the world is affected by the heat wave. So, is it the uniform definition of WMO has been followed everywhere? No, UK follow differently. Like with 3 days, there is a increase in temperature above threshold. Then that area might be called as heat wave affected, and the increase in the temperature is above the 5 degree Celsius. But in Indian case, the definitions of or criteria to define heat waves are based on 3 parameters. One is the location itself. Okay, so if the location is plain, hilly, mountains, so the areas get different because the threshold limit for plains is called 40 degree. Okay, if the temperature is above 40 degree, then the plains may be affected by the heat waves. For hilly and mountain areas, the threshold limit or the maximum temperature that area people or animal are adapted is around 30 degree Celsius. Or in the coastal areas, threshold level temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. If the temperatures are crossing these values in different geographies, they may be affected by heat waves. But it's not only the absolute increase in the temperature, okay, in that location, but also the deviation in temperature. So what is an absolute increase in temperature in these locations? So for a normal heat waves, temperature increase in the plains should be above 45 degree. And for the severe heat waves in the plain, the temperature increase should be above 47 degree. And how much the temperature should be deviated? So from the normal long-term average, temperature fluctuation should be above 4.5 degrees Celsius. If the temperature fluctuation is up to 6.4 degree, then we call the normal heat wave. If the temperature increase above 6.4 degrees Celsius, then we call the severe heat waves. Isn't suppose that area is having threshold around of 45 degrees Celsius. If the temperature goes to 51, so that means 45 plus 51 increases 6 degrees. So it's the normal heat waves or the extreme heat waves we call the normal. That's called the departure is only 6 here. If the temperature of the place is around 41 degree, okay, and the temperature is reached to 49, so the temperature deviation is around 8 degrees. So this is called severe heat wave. So departure from the normal, and this concept is also called thermal anomaly in the positive type. So all the three conditions can define heat waves. You can see here, so like Himalayas or hilly areas of India, if the temperature is above 30 degree and temperature increases above 4.5 degree for the normal heat waves, which is very rare situations only it is happening, less only. But severe heat waves in the Himalayas are not occurring. But even in the northeastern region, the heat waves are not much is happening. These are also hilly area, forested and areas. But if you look at the eastern coast and the western coast of India, for heat waves, absolute temperature requirement is above 37 degrees Celsius to declare heat wave, and the increase should be above 4.5 for normal. And for the extreme or severe heat waves, temperature increase should be above 6.5 degree Celsius. You can see this. Okay, so what part of India is affected by heat waves? So mostly the northwest part is affected by heat waves, and heat wave zone is expanded into the central part of India or Gangetic plains of India, or also expanded to the central part of peninsular India. So this is except the northern mountains of Himalayas and the northeast, entire India is been affected by the heat wave. So the 90% of India, okay, 90% of India falls under severe heat zone. Okay, severe heat zone. That means it has a potential to increase the temperature from the normal by 6.5 degree Celsius. So this is the entire area. So in the peninsular India, especially Vidarbha, Maharashtra, or the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, or Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh part is being affected. Okay, but in the coastal India, the Odisha, Bengal, Andhra Pradesh all get affected. They come under the core zone, and this core zone has been expanding from the northwest to the central India and further to the south central part of peninsular India too. So now you can see in this diagram, the severely heat zone is this one. It's from the northwest part of India, what? To the central part of India, to the south, east and central part of India, actually. And the severe heat zone is being affected in this. And surrounding area will be moderate heat zone. So only the point of difference is the change in the temperatures. Okay. And where the heat waves are less risky in India, especially in this Himalayan part and the northeastern part. Why? Because the reasons is the high altitude, because high altitude, cold, weather condition, normal lapse rate operates here. Okay, that make as you go higher and higher, temperature falls by 6.5 degrees Celsius. So in the mountains, coldness is there and does not experience heat waves much. But northeast India, low risk zone for the heat waves. Why? Because of the mountains also there. Okay, hilly areas. This is forested. This is having high cloud cover. Okay, and good precipitation. That reduces the extremity of the high temperatures increase. So low risk zone for the heat waves. So why the heat waves develop in India? What is the major cause for the heat wave? The source of heat energy, source of heat wave. So every heat wave should be accounted by the source. So heat in India, the three sources you can call it, three major sources. One is the local heating of India during the summer season. When summer season in India started between March till what? June. It's a pre-monsoonal season. So in the pre-monsoonal season, when the cloud cover is less and sunlight is directly falling over Tropic of what? Tropic of Cancer. So during that, local heating gets developed. So where is the more local heating? Answer is in Thar desert of Rajasthan. So as a result of Thar desert of Rajasthan become warm, and warm areas produce warm air, and local warm winds in India called as Lu, and which spread into from Rajasthan to the surrounding areas like Haryana, Delhi, Punjab, or UP, or in Bihar also, or up in Madhya Pradesh, and every areas above Vindhyachal, the Lu get affected actually. So the northern plains get affected by Lu, and that's called heat waves are been there. So generally in the summer time, it can happen actually. It can prevail for a few days where the extreme temperature crosses above 45 degrees Celsius. This is one reason. Second reason is the temperatures which has been produced because of the incoming winds which is from the Arabian Peninsula or from Africa coming up. Okay, because these winds are coming from hot deserts of West Asia. And it's a dry wind, dry and hot air. So this also concentrate the heat waves or warm air mass over. In a warm air mass is further increases when uh, India is experiencing wind from the westerlies. Okay, northwesterly wind when crosses Hindu Kush mountain, it undergo subsidence and sinking of air because this area is on the leeward side of the is Hindu Kush mountains and northwest winds undergo sinking or subsidence. So sinking or air also causes what called high temperature. But this only affected the northern India, above Vindhyachal. But the peninsular coastal India heat waves, both east and west coast can experience. East coast more than the west coast because Bay of Bengal is more warmer. But recent years, the Arabian Sea coastline, west coast also experience heat wave. Reason the warming of heat waves is okay. Warming of the Arabian Sea is getting more stronger actually in the recent years due to global warming. So heat wave incident is increasing where both the east coast and west coast is more, but Arabian Sea is getting more warmer relatively than the Bay of Bengal. So heat wave incidents are experienced in this coast too. But in generally, the buildup of warm air masses from the Bay of Bengal Arabian Sea take only 2 to 3 days, and so this extremity is not much like the northern India. So absolute temperature here generally remain around 40 degree maximum. So 37 to what 41 degrees remain the maximum temperature and causing the heat waves. But the amount of heat felt in this coastal area is more than what the northern India. The reason is the high humidity actually. When the relative humidity in the coastal areas is above 80% actually. Okay, or sometime in 85, 90% also. And that make the temperatures of 40 degree like 55 degree, and that become more scorching than in the northern India, unbearable heat. And that's the people of the coastal India from Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh get affected by the heat stroke actually. This is the main reason. And what is the impact of climate change and global warming on these heat wave incidents? So all the three parameters like intensity, frequency, and duration all has been increasing with the passing time. So that means climate change in the world and India is increasing frequency, increasing duration, increasing what called the intensity of heat waves incidents in the world as well as in India. For India, you can see on this map actually, this is a intensity is increasing with every coming decades actually, and by the end of 21st century, most of the India, the intensity will be above what called 46 degrees Celsius. The duration is generally for heat waves, one single event can stay for initially for only 1 to 2 days. Now it is extending more than what 10 days. So this is especially the extension more in the northern India, especially in northwest India and the Gangetic plains. But if we see the frequency, the occurrence of heat wave incidents in every summer season pre-monsoon will is increasing. So earlier was very low, only 1 or 2 days is there as the time is proceeding. So it did become 2 to 3. Now is what more than what 5 to 6 actually 5 to 6 times the heat waves is affecting the area. That's become a problematic actually. The entire world is in the grip of heat waves, not only the tropical world because of global warming, climate change. So heat waves are entering into mid latitude, higher latitude. You might have seen Canada experienced at Lepton 49.6, or the Western European countries' temperatures is above 35 degrees. Siberian, Australian forest fires are there. Even Antarctica in summer, temperatures are recorded above 18 degrees. So these are all incidents of heat waves in entire world. It is not only confined to the hot deserts, but it's spread into subtropical, temperate, higher latitudes too. Even not only it's increasing area wise, but within every area, the number of heat waves days are increasing. Number of what? Here, the heat waves events are increasing. Duration of heat waves are increasing. Peak intensity is increasing. You can see in the map. So why the heat waves have been produced? So major reason for heat wave formation is the heat dome effect. Okay, in a heat dome, what happens? Air is undergo what called subsidence. So areas where air is subsidizing, there also the heat waves get developed. So which latitude subsidence of air is more? If you see the latitudinal point, 30-degree latitude, subtropical high pressure belts. Wherever subtropical high pressure belts are there, you can experience the heat waves because the subsidizing air undergo what? Compression, and compressed air get automatically heated and produce the warm air on the ground. So subtropical high pressure zone, it's nothing but hot desert areas only. So during summer, when the sunlight is directly falling on a place, the ground get heated up. When the ground get heated up, what happened? Even the air get heated up. So warmer airs will try to make the warm local winds. And warm local winds, if it is start concentrating and combine with heat dome subsidence of air, and that will become a deadly situation. And it happened in the heat dome of the Pacific coast of Canada, actually, in the 2021. So even the local heat winds effects are like the Loo of India or the southerly, or you called as the Chinook of America, or the winds that produce in the Sahara deserts of what called Af- Africa, all as local heat winds. Suppose the winds produced in the summertime in the Sahara desert, it is moving to the Europe. So Europe affected by what? Heat waves because of the local heat winds produces from what? Which areas? Hot deserts during the summer season. Even the warmer currents like El Nino, La Nina can affect the local heat waves formation. Like El Nino is a warmer airs, the warmer ocean in central and eastern Pacific, so reduce the rainfall in the monsoon climate. And when the monsoon rainfall get reduced, what happens, Bachu? When the monsoon rainfall get reduced, the cloud cover will be less. So direct sunlight will be reaching, and the precipitation is reducing the heat waves effect. But since the area becoming more and more dry, more and more drought prone, so heat wave incidents in the El Nino phase will be there. Suppose an example, during El Nino year in India, the breaks in the monsoon season will be but more. Even the early arrival of what or late arrival of monsoon, it will late arrival of the southwest monsoon, even early withdrawal of the southwest monsoon, less rainfall, less cloud cover. So El Nino is causing drought in India. So as a result, heat wave incidents in India in El Nino phase will be more because of this. But if you say this La Nina effect, La Nina is also a warm current. And so during the La Nina, Bay of Bengal waters in India become more and more warmer. So more heat energy, more convection would be transported from sea to what called the atmosphere, and it get concentrated over the coastal area. So the effect of heat waves will be more during the La Nina. Okay, so the heat waves in India get increased during La Nina or El Nino. It is increasing in both. La Nina, the coastal peninsular India get the extreme heat waves situation. What is the role of jet stream in the heat wave formation? So heat wave is actually is been maintained and produced by jet stream because jet stream is a zigzag flow. Okay, when it is moving zigzag in some location, it is forming a hook-like system like omega block. It's called what called which block called omega block, and omega block is a kind of a situation which is sinking is maintained and is trapping the warm air. So it trap what? The warm air because of sinking or subsidence of the air. So jet stream can do. So where is the jet stream? 30-degree jet stream called westerly jet stream, or 60-degree jet stream we call the polar jet stream. Both can do this process. And during the global warming and climate change, polar vortex is getting weaker and extreme weather events are more. So the summers are getting more and more warmer every year. And the weaker polar vortex, what happened? The tropical air mass is entering to the temperate areas and causing the heat waves in the mid latitude and higher latitudes too. Now, is it the natural factors only responsible for the heat wave formation? No. Even the human activities are intensifying the low pressure situation. Like human activities resulting into what? Land use changes. So human factors is removing jungles. So natural cover, green cover is removed and replaced by what called direct land and soil. So in direct land and soil, we know get more heated up actually, and it absorbed the heat energy and converted into heat waves. So in the as a result, human more over the land, like more industrialization, more urbanization. So more and more land is being generating heat, and so urban heat islands are being generated. UHI effect, urban heat island effect. So as a result, areas which high population density, like urban areas, industrial area, are more warmer than the rural counterpart, and heat wave incidents are also more. Not only the daytime, even in the night time, the temperatures are more. So in human are encroaching the water bodies. So as a result, the local evaporation leads cooling is not happening much. Even the greenhouse emission in the urban areas are more. Pollution is more, and concrete cover is also more, and the use of fossil fuel is more. And because of that, urban heat island become more and more active. So now let's see the details here. So I'm combining all natural as well as what human factors that produce and maintain the what called heat waves. So now in the tropical areas during the summer season when insulations are more and more directly falling over the land, okay, then what happened? So the land get heated up. When the land get heated up, warmer air get produced. Warmer air unable to rise upward because the convection process is restricted due to the sinking or subsidence of air. Okay, when sinking of air is or subsidence of air is blocking the rise of the warmer air, which on rising, the air get what cooler and cooler. Now air is not able to rise upward, and as a result, warm air not able to rise upward, unable to cool. So, but in contrary, air is sinking or subsidizing. So, subsidizing air undergo what called compression. So, it compressed air leads to what heating, and this process only called as adiabatic heating. So now atmosphere during this situation will be stable. So that means your air is not able to rise vertically upward. So cloud free weather conditions are there. So how the cloud free weather condition or atmospheric stability is maintained? Because at the mid altitude at the height of 3,000 to 8,000 meters, what happened in the troposphere, there is a high pressure is there, and this high pressure itself has been maintained by the upper atmospheric what? A jet stream. Upper atmospheric what called? Jet stream. If you look at this jet stream is moving like this. So as a result of that, it's pushing the air downward towards the ground. So jet stream role is what? Is maintaining a high pressure at some location, and now this high pressure area is the cloud free weather. So the sunlight is coming directly on the ground without being reflected by the cloud, because cloud is not there. So the heat start concentrated in a one particular area, and because of the heat is concentrated, not mixing with the surrounding, not rising, not cooling, so heat dome get developed, and this situation can persist for few days to few weeks. Okay, sometimes this heat dome get energy not only from solar heating or insolation, from the marine heat also been contributing to it. Okay, but the wind moving from the ocean to the land transport the heat energy of the ocean to the land, and these heat dome get more and more accentuated, and the heat waves effect will be higher. So you have seen all this reason in the urban areas where urban heat island effect is existing. So what is the situation there? But their pollution is causing more and more temperature. Extreme events will be higher. Now, global warming and climate change, which is increasing the carbon dioxide, other greenhouse gases, and which is responsible for the anthropogene seen cause climate change. Extreme weather events are happening. In that extreme weather event during the summer, we call heat wave incidents are more and more. Already due to human induced carbon emission from the pre-industrial time temperature already increased above what 1.2 degrees Celsius. When temperature is getting more than 1.2 degrees Celsius, then it is a problem. Like if you compare, see the India map, okay, the events. We draw a situation. This is India and global. So now from 2000 onwards, right? 2000 onward, thermal anomaly is getting more and more, like extreme temperatures are getting what more and more. This is what is actually is happening after 2000 actually, and before 2000, the temperature of India is like this. So positive thermal anomaly is more reported due to global warming. So the global warming effect is getting stronger and stronger in 21st century. Already the world temperature from the pre-industrial time increased more than 1.2 degree Celsius. And due to global warming, the polar vortex getting weaker and weaker, and polar vortex become weaker and weaker. So what happened? Your polar jet stream and other jet stream become more meandering. More meandering means the warmer airs from the tropics will start entering into the what called higher latitude. So the heat waves are not confined to the tropic geography, entering into the mid latitudes and higher latitudes. You can see in this diagram which I am drawing here for you. Suppose this is a globe. Okay, this is a globe. Now weaker polar vortex is there. Weaker polar vortex, your jet stream become what more and more what zigzag. Okay, so when it's become more and more zigzag because of warming, so the warm air from the tropics are entering into higher latitude, resulting into heat, what waves. That's happened in the heat dome formation of Canada, isn't it not? Even apply this whole concept of heat wave formation over India. Already we have covered it, just summarizing it once again. So during the summers, Indian Thar Desert get heated, Indian northern plains get heated, even the peninsular India get heated. So direct heating causing the heat wave. So and the local heat waves we call in India is called low. So and some of the sources where the warm air mass is not local, coming from outside. The two outside areas are there in India. One is the Arabian part, or called West Asia is the source. Which source called West Asia is the source for warm air mass. So warm air mass in India enters from West Asia. When it is entering into West Asia, there must be wind. So westerly wind, northwesterly wind push this warm air mass towards India. Okay, and this warm air mass is increasing over India or Pakistan, isn't it? And the heat waves get increased. That's the one thing. When this, even the wind which is moving from west to east has to cross Hindu Kush mountains. On the leeward slope, there is a subsidence of air, and subsidence air undergo adiabatic sinking. Adiabatic sinking means the compression of air, and compressed air get warmed up. Again, in the northwest India, heat waves become extreme. It's so extreme the temperature India, Pakistan is crossing above 50 degrees Celsius. And all this situation is pre-monsoonal only. Okay. Even in the pre-monsoonal season, the ITZ from the equator is shifting towards what called towards the pole, and it can confine up to the foothills of Himalayas before the arrival of southwest monsoon, isn't it? So this is called NIT season, Northern Intertropical Convergence Zone, up to the 30-degree north latitude, means up to the foothills of Himalayas it gets started. So as a result, what happened? Equatorial heat will be transported from the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal towards the mainland of India. And the effect of this transport is not taking much time. So now comparing the northern plains transport of heat energy by the warm air masses from the Arabian side and the from this called Arabian Peninsula or West Asian side, or the warm air that produced over the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal entering into India. So who takes more time? When this take more time, it become more stronger also. But the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal only 2 to 3 days only. So think of, but the problem is in the coastal areas, humidity level is above 85%, and the temperature felt is more than what actual the maximum temperature is there by the humans or other animals. That caused a great discomfort in the coastal areas. And this situation called heat indexes values are very, very high actually. So this is a belt in India which is affected extremely with the severe heat waves where temperature increases above 6.5 and absolute temperatures are more than 45. So one is the northwest India, Gangetic Plains, central India, south, central part of India. So this belt of heat zone is expanding into the eastern part of India, peninsular part of India, southern part of India too. Except the Himalayas and the northeast India, entire India is under the severe heat wave. So 90% of India is under that. So now I'm summarizing the heat wave formation over India. So heat wave formation is a byproduct of all these things. First is summer heating between March till June, pre-monsoonal heating causing a low pressures convection, but convected air unable to rise, and the warm air mass get developed over India. When this warm air mass get stronger because of the incoming winds from two areas. One from the Arabian or West Asian hot deserts, it because of westerly wind, northwesterly wind that piled up here. Okay, and these piling up process get further heated up when these winds air mass is crossing the Hindu Kush mountain ranges between Afghanistan and Pakistan. So there will be leeward slopes, again descent of air and subsidence of air. Air which is descending down under subsidence, they produces a system of what called adiabatic heating, compression of the air, and compressed air get heated up, so warm air get produced. So here also heat dome kind of situation get developed. Even the westerly jet stream in Indian part is moving downward. When the jet stream is moving downward, it will exert the high pressure, and high pressure resulting into atmospheric stability and high pressure maintenance, descent of air, and same sequence will generate. Now, even the global warming is happening everywhere. Even local effects have been observed, like Indian monsoon effect or effect on the polar areas. Okay, or effects on different parts. So global warming is declining the lapse rate. So that means your entire troposphere is getting heated up. So as the air which is rising upward, the rate at which it is getting cooling is getting reduced. So the chances of heat wave formation is getting more and more actually, and the rise of the warm air upward is getting slow down. So as the mixing of the air path in the troposphere is getting slow during the heat wave formation. Even you already know during El Nino, La Nina, both times the heat waves get produced. La Nina has more chances of heat waves in the coastal areas get produced, and El Nino heat waves is produced due to the drought incidents in India. So now heat waves is caused in the mid latitude areas like the US, Canada, or in the Europe, or in the higher latitude like the Siberian part of Russia too. So example, in the US, the temperature reaches around 49.6 in the Litton in 2021 because the heat dome get developed, and this heat dome is because your westerly the jet streams move upward in the summer, and so the tropical air mass get pushed upward. When the tropical air mass is established here, so warm air mass get developed actually. Tropical air mass is what? Warm air mass is shifting from the tropical areas to the mid latitude during which season? During the summer. And the jet stream is which is pushing it the tropical air mass upward is called westerly jet stream. And this westerly jet stream make a omega block. This omega block is acting like a lid which can hold the warm air. Okay, does not allow the warm air to escape. So as a result, warm air get concentrated, increases, and the temperature get increased here. And this trapping of warm air in this omega block by the jet stream, subsidence, high pressure areas produces heat dome that raises the temperatures. And okay, similar situation is in the Arctic regions. The Arctic amplification. The Siberian region temperature in summer reaches above 38 degrees Celsius. The reason is very simple. Temperature anomalies in is reported is very high in the colder areas. As we are moving from equator to what pole, the temperature difference is what increasing. So that means temperature difference more is what in which areas? Higher latitude. The reason is called as the Arctic amplification or polar amplification. Summer is becoming more and more hot. Okay, as you go higher and higher latitudes. So now Arctic amplification, the reasons are others also because of albedo factors. For the positive what? Albedo feedback is operating. Like when the global warming is happening, snow melting is happening, thinning of the ice is there. So as a result, what happened? The sunlight goes directly and hitting these areas. Okay. So the absorption by the Arctic Ocean more and more of solar radiation. So it become more and more warmer, and 4 times, Arctic region get 4 times more warmer than other parts of areas actually. Okay, on an average. So the fastest heating areas or increase in temperature is reported in the Arctic region. This concept called polar amplification, or also called as what? Arctic amplification or Antarctic amplification. Even similarly, the Australian heat waves has been experienced. Okay. So you can see heat waves everywhere. In the next class, we will be observing the marine heat wave. This for the today in the next class, we try to observe that what are the consequences, what are the preparedness by the society, government, what are the heat action plan adopted, okay, what should be the technical solutions for it. So I am leaving one question for the mains to try to develop that questions, guys. Question is how heat waves is 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 connected to climate change and human activities. Okay. So elaborate your statement. What? Okay, elaborate with examples and case studies. Okay. So how heat waves is connected to present climate change and the human activities. Thank you all of you.